Today we're going to talk about square roots. We start with the perfect squares. Perfect squares are numbers like 4, 9, 16, 25, etc. 4 is equal to 2 times 2. Therefore, we say that the square root of 4 is equal to 2. 9, 3 times 3. 16, 4 times 4. 25, 5 times 5. And of course you have 36, 49, 64, etc. We say therefore that the square root of 9 is equal to 3. The square root of 16 is equal to 4. The square root of 25 is equal to 5. Normally on a calculator, the square root might be the first function of the second function. You might have to type in the number and then hit the square root button on some calculators. Other calculators it might be a little bit different. Just taking a look right now. What you'll find, therefore, is that with other numbers, you'll have a lot of decimal places. Square root of 8, for example, if you type that in on your calculator, 8 square root, you have a number like 2.8284271, and the number continues to go on. We round to 2 decimal places, so we say the square root of 8 is 2.83. Now that's not exactly the answer. If you type in your calculator 2.83 times 2.83, you're not going to get a perfect 8. So we say that the square root of 8 is approximately equal to. So you put that dot above the equal sign, and this actually means approximately equal to 2.83. Just as another example, the square root of 50. It's very close to the perfect square of 49, which is 7 times 7. The square root of 50, therefore, has to be very close to 7. It's actually 7.07, approximately equal to. Use your knowledge of perfect squares to estimate these other kinds of numbers. For example, if you have the square root of 60, understand that 60 is in between this square root of 49, which is equal to 7, and the square root of 64, which is equal to 8. 60 is closer to 64 than 49, so the square root has to be closer to 8 than to 7. It could be something like 7.7 or 7.8. You'd have to check that out on your calculator. But you have to be able to use your estimation skills, especially your knowledge of perfect squares, to come up with the answer, or to understand what the answer actually is. A couple more things before we finish here. If you have the square root of 7 squared, a square root and a square actually cancel each other out. So the square root of 7 squared is simply equal to 7. And we also learned something called a cube root. Cube root, you put a 3 right there. It's 3 numbers that multiply together. They're the exact same number, and they equal what's inside the square root. The cube root of 8 is 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. The square root of, say, something like 27, cube root, that is equal to 3, since 3 times 3 times 3 is equal to 27.